Hello everyone. I welcome you all in today's virtual class of subject science. Today I am going to tell you one story. A mouse was put at the top of a jar filled with grains. He was too happy to find so much food around him. Now he does not need to run around searching for food and can happily lead his life. As he enjoyed the grains, in a few days he reached to the bottom of the jar. Now he is trapped and he cannot come out of it. He solely has to depend upon someone to put grains in the same jar for him to survive. He may even not get the grains of his choice and he cannot choose it for him. If he has to live, he has to feed on whatever has been put into the jar. Children, have you understood the story? A mouse was put up at the top of the jar which is filled with grains. He was too happy because the grains are easily available to him. He does not need to run around searching for food and he was leading his life happily. But after a few days, he reached at the bottom of the jar. Then he has got trapped and he cannot come out of it. He has to depend solely upon someone to put grains in the same jar for him to survive. So, from this story, we can learn four lessons. Short term pleasures can lead to long term disaster. The mouse was enjoying the grains initially. So, this was the short term pleasure, but what was the long term disaster for him? He was trapped into the jar, right? And he has to depend upon the upon someone uh, who will put up some grains into the jar, and then he has to uh, survive by depending upon someone else. If things are coming easy and you are getting comfortable, you are getting trapped into survival mode. When you are not using your potential, you are losing it. And last lesson, if you don't take the right action at the right time, you will finish what you have and will be in no position to come out from dependency. Understood, children? So, remember, always work hard, build confidence, and fight for success. Today we are going to start new lesson number 18, ecosystems. Let us just recall the previous knowledge. Which factors do you found in your surrounding? In our surroundings, there are abiotic and biotic factors. The biotic factors means living organisms or living factors, and animals and plants. Whatever we see in our surroundings, they all come under the biotic factors. The invisible bacteria and fungi are also important and they play important role in the ecosystem as decomposers. And what are abiotic factors? Abiotic factors means non-living factors such as air, water, land, sunlight, etc. Question number 2. Are these factors directly or indirectly related to you? Yes, we all are directly or indirectly connected to every single factor in the surroundings in which we are living. For the requirement of food, we are dependent on plants and animals. For our survival, we continuously need oxygen, water, and other minerals which come under the abiotic factors. So, children, is it clear to you? Biotic factors means living factors, and abiotic factors means non living factors. Clear? Classify the following into living and non living factors: sunlight, sunflower, elephant, lotus, algae, stone, grass, water, ant, soil, cat, fern, air, lion. Children, can you classify uh, these factors into living and non-living? Yes, it is easy for you. Come on. Sunlight, living. Then sunflower, it is living. Am I right or I'm going wrong? Yes. If you are paying attention to me, then you will come to know sunlight is a non-living factor. Sunflower is a plant, so it comes under living factor. Elephant, living. Lotus, living. Algae, living. Stone, non-living. Grass, living. Water, non-living. Ant, living. Soil, non-living. Cat, living. Fern, living. Air, non-living. Lion, living. So make two separate columns and classify these factors into living as and non-living factors. Now children, you are coming to a new branch of science that is called ecology. All living organisms, whether plant or animal or human being, is surrounded by the environment on which it derive its needs for its survival. Each living component interacts with non-living components for their basic requirements for different ecosystem. Children, plants, they need oxygen, carbon dioxide, water, soil, these factors for their survival, isn't it? So plants biotic factors, they depend on non living components for their basic requirements. Similarly, animals, human beings, we all are surrounded by the environment in which abiotic factors are present and we have to depend on them for our survival. Clear? Ecology is the study of interactions among organism or group of organisms with their environment. The environment consists of both biotic components, that is living organisms, and abiotic components, that is non-living organism. Or ecology is the study of ecosystems. The world around us is made up of living and non-living factors. Living are called biotic factors, while non-living are called abiotic factors. There is a continuous interaction between these living and non-living factors. Living organisms and their habitat environment are correlated with each other. The structure which is formed due to these reciprocal relationships is called an ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic factors and their interactions form an ecosystem. Children, have you understood now? Living beings means biotic factors and non-living things are abiotic factors. The interaction between these two forms, that is biotic and abiotic factors, form an ecosystem. And there is a reciprocal relationship between these two factors which lead to an ecosystem. Clear? Ecosystem is the basic functional unit of ecology. The term ecosystem is coined from a Greek word meaning study of home. A group of organisms interacting among themselves and with environment is known as an ecosystem. Thus, an ecosystem is a community of different species interacting with one another and with their non-living environment and one another and their non-living environment exchanging energy and matter. So biotic and abiotic factors are continuously interacting with each other and there is an exchange of energy and matter between these two factors. Example is given here. Animals cannot synthesize their food directly but depend on plants either directly or indirectly. Clear? Animals are dependent on plants for their survival. Clear? For example, goat has to eat grass for its survival, isn't it? Many animals which eat plants, they are called as herbivore. So they have to depend on plants for their survival. Types of ecosystem. Natural ecosystem operate themselves under natural condition. Based on the habitat type, it is further classified into three types: terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, and aquatic ecosystem is further divided into freshwater, running water ecosystem, and marine ecosystem. We are going to study as we proceed further in this chapter. Man-made ecosystem or artificial ecosystem, it is operated or maintained by man himself. Types of ecosystem, a flowchart is shown here. It is of two types. Two types are there, natural and artificial. Natural ecosystems are forest, grassland, aquatic and desert. And artificial ecosystems are terrestrial, microbial and aquatic. Structure or components of an ecosystem. An ecosystem has two major components, biotic components and abiotic components. Biotic components means the living organisms or living members in an ecosystem collectively form its community called biotic components or biotic community. Examples are plants. Plants are called as producers. Animals are called as consumers and microorganisms are called decomposers. Producers synthesize their food themselves through photosynthesis. All green plants, trees, they are called producers. Producers means they can produce their own food with the help of process called photosynthesis. The green pigment called chlorophyll present in the leaves of the plant converts carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight into carbohydrates. You all know this process of photosynthesis. Chemically balanced equation is given here. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives C6H12O6, that is carbohydrate, plus 6O2 and 6H2O are the products of photosynthesis. So plants, green plants and trees are called as producers or autotrophs. Then consumers means plant eating species. Consumers are of two types, primary consumers and secondary consumers. Primary consumers means they are herbivores, they are plant eaters. Primary consumers are also called as herbivores. They directly depend on the plants for their food. They are also called as plant eaters. Insects, rat, goat, deer, cow, horse, all are herbivores. Isn't it? They are called as plant eaters. Secondary consumers are called as primary carnivores or they are also called as meat eater. Secondary consumers are primary carnivores. They feed on primary consumers. They directly depend on the herbivores for their food. Frog, cat, snakes, foxes. है ना? So these are all dependent on other animals for getting their food. So they are directly dependent on the herbivores. Then tertiary consumers are also called as secondary carnivores. Tertiary consumers are secondary carnivores. They feed on secondary consumers. They depend on the primary carnivores for their food. Lion, tiger are called as tertiary consumers. Decomposers. Microorganisms like bacteria and fungi, they are decomposers. Decomposers attack the dead bodies of producers and consumers and decompose them into simple compounds. During the decomposition, inorganic nutrients are released. The inorganic nutrients together with other organic substances are then utilized by the producers for the synthesis of their own food. So decomposers means they decompose the dead bodies of plants and animals and inorganic nutrients are released into the surrounding. Nutrients are released and they are utilized by plants again and the cycle goes on and on. Abiotic components are of two types, physical components and chemical components. Examples: climate, soil, water, air, energy, nutrients. We will continue this topic in next video.